Tonight we're going to tackle a very difficult subject, that is racism. I have with me here, a race expert, David Nkrumah Unger Liebe Hart.
Yeah, I remember as a kid when I was growing up in Chicago, my parents were marching with Dr. Martin Luther King in the 60s, and how they didn't want blacks to be treated equally, and they sent out the German Shepherd dogs to bite us up, and they're supposed to say this is a country for justice and freedom for all, and blacks fought for this country in the military just as equally as white people, and in the 60s and the 50s to give us, segregate us was wrong. And I remember my dad and my mother and my sister and my auntie, we were marching in the streets with Dr. Martin Luther King in 67 and 68. And the police sent out dogs to bite us up and put us in jail. And all we wanted to do is be treated equally, and racism is still existing. I'll never forget, there was a church, this is a disgrace, but I'm gonna say it. I had racism in Los Angeles from two denominations. One was the Christian Science Church, and the other one was because I wanted to date a white girl in a Lutheran church. I'll start with the Christian Science Church. I wanted to be a member of 28th Church of Christ Scientists in Westwood. And I went by all their rules, and no smoking and drinking, no sex out of marriage. And I thought I'd get in as a member. I helped the elderly people. I worked at Asher House. But they said they didn't want a Negro member. They said they already had one colored member, and that's all they wanted. And no matter how hard I couldn't please them, they refused my membership and told me to find an all-Negro Christian Science church. And it was terrible. And I faced, since I'm part German, as you know, Liebe Unger Hart is German. I'm also mixed with American Indian and Scotch and Irish and French and Dutch. And my grandmother Schroeder told me when she was living, Grandmother Louise Schroeder, she told me, why don't you go just visit a Lutheran church? You know, the Lutherans were one time very liberal, but the Quakers, they helped free blacks through the Underground Railroad.
Now, is that why you have so many middle names? Explain those names.
Yeah, my family's from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the first Lutheran church I went to was in a Jewish area. And this guy named Mark Rosbach, his church was burned down to the ground, and I helped him put on concerts to raise money for his church. I was just his friend, and I helped him.
I want to understand why. Explain your name though for a second.
David Nkrumah Liebe Unger Hart. Liebe means love.
When did you get that name?
I've had this name all my life. My grandmother Schroeder, her mother was a blue-eyed blonde, and back in Pennsylvania, my family said there's only one race, that's the human race. In Pennsylvania, they didn't have the racism that they have here, you know, the segregation. Then they say they're not prejudiced and they'll only accept one black. I mean, that's still racism.
What does Nkrumah mean?
Nkrumah is an African name. He was a famous king in Nigeria, in Africa.
And what is Unger?
Unger, I have to look that up, but it is another German
How about
name.
Hart?
Hart is German, like Bach.
David?
David is Jewish.
Wow, you got a lot of races going in there, man.
I love all people. That's the way I was taught.
No,
So there's only one race, and that's the human race. I want to start talking.
Let's talk about interracial dating, though.
This is ridiculous. I met this girl named Sonia Root. At the time, she was single. Well, we had so much in common. She was into music and art like I was. She was a preschool teacher like I was. She was a songwriter. I mean, when I first came to that church, she gave me her phone number saying she was interested in dating me. And
what race was she?
She was white.
Okay.
And Mark Rosbach didn't want any interracial dating in his church.
What race is he?
He's white.
Okay.
And he said that any black man that would date a white girl has a devil in him.
Wow.
And he told me that if I continually went out with Sonia Root, he would kick me out from visiting the church. And lo and behold, he kicked me out and told me never to come back there or he'd break every bone in my body.
Now, you're for interracial dating.
I'm for interracial dating.
Do you prefer it?
I think it's beautiful. I think interracial dating is bringing harmony. It's teaching people to get along and work together. Everybody's mixed. You know, that the cream has been put in the coffee when they brought blacks over as slaves. Even the Latinos are mixed. Everybody's mixed with different races. And that's why they should have no room for racism.
What about chocolate milk?
Chocolate is a dark African. It's beautiful.
What about the milk?
Milk is beautiful. Caucasian people are like the beautiful white flowers. The black people are like the beautiful red flowers. And the mulatto people, the Latino people are like the beautiful pink flowers. Now, if people would have a love for all races of people, like a gardener has a love for all colored flowers. I mean, a garden looks beautiful when it has all different colors in it. It looks pretty boring when the whole garden is only filled with white flowers, like Everybody Loves Randy. It's a good show, don't get me wrong. The Mary Tyler Moore Show is a good show. But when they don't even integrate it with the minorities, they're racist. I faced racism as a member of Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, what happened? What happened? Now, I heard weren't you on Happy Days?
Yeah, that was the only black that was on.
So you were
Peter Marshall.
You fought hard to integrate that show,
Yes,
Happy
I
Days.
did, and I felt I'm a member of Screen Actors Guild. I've been a member of Screen Actors Guild ever since 1977. I did Good Times, Chico and the Man in the early 70s. Did a lot of good acting work.
What about the Waltons? Did you help integrate the Waltons?
I was Linda Hamilton was my mother on the Waltons.
Did you find was there a lot of racism on the set of the Waltons?
The only person that was kind of prejudiced toward me and he wasn't friendly was that Thomas guy. He wouldn't even speak to me or give me his autograph. He was like ice cold.
What was his reason?
I don't know. He just didn't want to be bothered. So I left him alone.
Okay.
The guy played John Boyd.
Now what about all this in jobs, man? I heard you've been in
Racism is terrible on jobs. I'm an ex-Navy veteran. They say that they're not prejudiced. They only want to hire. They say they only want to hire one token. This is what the churches are doing, what the businesses are doing. They are playing a token. They always hire the black woman over the black guy and then say they're not prejudiced, but they are, and it's a shame. And this also I can't understand is this Pastor Boleen. I was working on and off at his church as a musician. And as soon as I asked a girl out that was into acting like I am, I didn't, come on to her. Dating's like cooking. You wait until you get to know the person for a while. So I saw this girl.
So wait, you wait till you get to know the food for a while?
Well, I mean, dating's like cooking. You don't come on too strong to a woman or she'll have nothing to do with you. I waited until I got to know her and I found out this girl was into acting. And I would visit her church and the Hollywood area. But Pastor Boleen was another racist. He was against racism. He was for homosexuality, but he was against the black and the white for being together. And so was Ray Hoff. As another guy.
Now, aren't you against homosexuality?
Well, I feel the Bible says that men shall not lie with mankind and women shall not lie with womenkind, but I feel homosexuals are God's children just like we are, and no one should be prejudiced. Even though that's not my cup of tea, I don't feel people should be prejudiced against them.
But what if, let's say you saw, like at a party, you saw some
Well, that was adultery what I saw at your party. That was adultery, because that girl was already dating a guy, and to see her do that I just didn't. I like some of the Republican views, and I like some of the Democrat views, and I've been a voter now for 20-some years in Los Angeles.
What about Ralph Nader?
Well, I like some of his ideas, and some of his ideas I don't.
Now, back to this party. What was going on? That was adultery you were against?
I didn't like that. Don Bowles, I had a lot of respect for him until I went to your party and they had two ladies making out, and I felt that was gross because she had a boyfriend there, and that wasn't right. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she was disloyal to her boyfriend. And it made me sick. It made me spit up.
What did you spit up exactly?
The cake I had at your party and the punch and the Coke. It made me totally sick.
Oh, man. And then you try to stop it somehow?
Well, I tell you, that's a hard cookie to crunch. Hard piece of ice to bite. Whew, try to have an open mind and be liberal and love all people equally, but
Why don't you, do you have a song about all this stuff?
I wrote a song called God Made All His People Free, Life Itself is Liberty, God ordained no other band, but unites man heart and hand. So shall all racism end, and people learn to get along in peace. You want me to sing it?
Sure. I mean, I guess.
God made all his people free. Life itself is liberty. God ordained no other band, but unites man heart and hand. So shall all racism cease. Everybody get along in peace. One and fellowship of mine. We are blessed and glorified. And this endless happy whole, where life and heart and soul shall all discrimination cease. Everybody get along in peace. Oh, so shall all slavery cease. All God's people live in peace. And the new on earth record, love and love alone is Lord. Shall all discrimination cease. Everybody get along in peace. Everybody. Get along in peace. Okay, come back. Okay. All right.
All right, that was excellent.
And you know, they're really sneaky at the end. I also don't like the way Koreans I like all races of people, and I don't like how Koreans only hire Koreans at their Chinese restaurant. I feel that's racism, and I don't. And I like Latino people a lot too. I feel they're very creative and artistic people, but I don't like at their companies how they only hire Spanish. They should integrate it with white, black, and all races of people, and that's discrimination when one race only wants to hire their race to work in a company, and I feel that's wrong too. And I don't think it's right that white people underpay Latino people. I feel that's discrimination. You know, that's why all these unions are going on strike. And I'm a member of Screen Actors Guild, and I have faced terrible racism from the game show. Blind Date told me they didn't want to have any interracial dating or blacks interviewing or dating on their show this season. I felt offended. Screen Actors Guild, I paid money to be a part of your union. You didn't do anything to fight it. I faced discrimination at the Gong Show. I'm a member of AFTRA and SAG. I've been a member since 1977, and it hurts me that nobody, Lori Bailey, it hurts me. She is black like I am, and she told me it's my, if they want to be prejudiced against you, so what? You know, the affirmative action doesn't do anything to help its own race of people.
What about, what do you mean affirmative action?
They don't do a damn thing. You know, they don't do a damn thing to fight racism. I faced racism. I was eating in a restaurant in Orange County when I first came out here, when I got out of the Navy. And they said, this Southern guy says, we don't serve niggers. You're going to have to get the fuck out of this place. I says, I have a right to eat in this restaurant just like you do. I was thrown out of the restaurant. It says, go to Compton and South Central and buy something. I told the Orange County police about it, and they laughed in my face.
What'd they say?
You didn't give a damn. I'm sorry for swearing, I'm a Christian, but it really angers me, the racism. I've had to face racism all my life, and I love all people. I am multicultural like a rainbow. I'm mixed with German, Swedish, American, Indian, Scotch, and Irish, and I was taught there was only one race, and that's the human race. You know, this is ridiculous. You know, and these companies say they're not prejudiced, and they only want to hire one black, and the rest of blacks that try to join, they refuse them.
No, wait, what about the fast food industry? I heard.
Oh, racism is terrible in there. Now it's reverse racism. When I like all races of people. I love Spanish and Korean people, but I don't like it that when they become managers of a company, they only hire their own race. And it hurts me that I'm even facing racism that John Monahan doesn't want to hire me at Adelphia Cable. And I used to work at Charter Communication and Cox Cable. And and I feel that I'm being discriminated against by him, and it hurts the dickens because I like him.
What happened at Media One? There's some controversy.
Well, at Media One, my cable was not working, and they had a manager that was Afro-American. Like me, Media One is now AT&T broadband, and they still don't want to get a toilet, a bathroom for the people that are doing public access shows at AT&T Cable in South Central. And all the other AT&Ts in Hollywood have a bathroom for people. They have a bathroom for people and all the facilities, but in the black areas. And I feel it's ridiculous. I feel that if they can have a public bathroom for whites in Hollywood at AT&T Cable, they should have one they should have a bathroom for public access producers in South Central and the mall, but they refuse to get one. And because I complained about that, I was suspended from 1 year from doing shows. And they threatened me they were going to take my cable away from me. So I had to swallow my spit and put up with the unfairness.
That's horrible, man. Do you have now what about women?
Well,
don't you prefer certain races of women?
I like all races of women. I've dated, just like I like all kinds of ice cream. I like to go to 31 flavors. I'm a liberal person. I don't mind dating a Latino woman. The Latino woman's like a beautiful pink flower. I don't mind dating a black woman. A black woman's like a beautiful red flower. I don't mind dating a beautiful white woman. A white woman's like a beautiful white flower. I don't mind dating a Korean woman. A Korean woman's like a beautiful yellow flower.
What about your own race?
Well, I said I don't mind dating my own race.
Oh, okay.
But I've run across where they're my own black women, I face racism. They're prejudiced against me because I don't have a big income and won't date me because I don't have a car. And I feel that's discrimination. And they feel because they have a better job than me, they think they're too good to date me. So racism is alive and well in our country. You know, Jesus says, this is my commandment, that ye love one another. And I feel you, Mark Rosbach and Pastor Boleyn and Bishop Eggerson need to stop discriminating against interracial dating. You all need to grow up and accept all races of people. And your church, I'm talking to you, Pastor Boleyn, at the Lutheran Church in Santa Monica. I'm talking to you, Mark Rosbach, and any other person that's prejudiced. And I'm talking to you people at 28th Church of Christ Scientists. The Bible says there's nothing that hidden shall not be revealed. And it hurts me. I attended your church. I worked at Asher House. And you refused my membership for 25 times because you said you only wanted one Negro, and I felt that was terrible. And so what if a black guy dates a white girl or a white girl dates a black man? As long as they love one another and there's a chemistry and they care about one another. You know, this is ridiculous. So what? It's what they have. It's the love that's in common, not the race. If they peeled our skin off, we'd all be the same. So prejudiced people, get over your racism. I'm talking to you Ku Klux Klan members. I'm talking to any race or prejudiced group. We all need to learn to get along. Like the guy said, can't we all get along? Mr.
Right.
King, what was his name?
Rodney King?
Rodney King, can't we all get along?
Now, what do you think of this controversy that people say that Jesus was black?
I feel Jesus was black. You know, it was, and they rewrote the Bible. This is another thing I don't like, and I'll be honest with you. They rewrote the Bible. The Dewey Bible is. They even took out about the extraterrestrials that were in the Bible from the. They rewrote the Bible. The Bible has been diluted. They even have all different types of Bible. Now, the original Bible that was in 11 A.D. that's in the Roman Catholic Church talked about the prophets in the Bible being black. So what if they're black or white? As long as we got the wisdom and understanding from them, what difference they were?
Now, what about aliens?
Well, I feel that the government is discriminating against aliens.
Now, do they have like different races within
They have different races of aliens. We have the Palladians, which are a lot like you Caucasian people that are blonde. They have the giants, which are like the Afro-Americans with the big egg head. They call the wise men. The American Indians call them the wise ones. They call them the Cachinos. And they taught the Egyptians to build the pyramids, and they're 8 feet tall and big.
Now, do you think that the so-called races, because you say aliens walk among us, correct?
Yes, they do.
Now, are we descended from the aliens?
I believe that we could be. I'm not sure, but I believe that we could be. You know, I believe that we could be.
Now, do you have a song about it?
No, but I would.
How about Sonia Rude, since you were talking about Sonia earlier?
Okay.
All right, man.
Okay, Sonia Rude, what should I say about,
Just sing the song, man.
Oh boy, I tell you, I've written so many. Oh, Sonia, I can't think of the song. Let me think. I think Sonia is beautiful to me because I'll never feel lonely. I still think you, Sonia, is beautiful to me, like a beautiful rose that is in store. I would like to be in her bouquet as a red flower, but I know if she doesn't work out for me, I hope she finds a love that is right for her. I still hope Sonia will believe in me so I won't feel so lonely.
All right. Now, wait, let me ask you another question. I've heard some rumors that you are into integration of fish.
Yeah, I have a fish tank. I like to see, a lot of people say you can't mix goldfish and saltwater fish and tropical fish. That's not true. My fish tank is integrated with saltwater fish, tropical fish. I have angelfish, I have zebrafish, and mixed with my goldfish, and they all get along fine. They're not prejudiced against one another. In fact, kids, I used to be a preschool teacher. I used to teach at Griffin Preschool that used to be on Olympic and Crenshaw. And the kids would play together that were white, Latino, and Korean. They knew nothing of racism. If kids can get along and play with one another and help one another of different races and different colors, then why can't we as adults that are black and white?
Oh, I know, man.
It doesn't, kids don't know anything about racism. They're innocent. Like the Bible says, Jesus said, the little child shall lead the way.
What do you think it is, man? What do you think?
Well, I think people that are prejudiced are narrow-minded. They're afraid of growth. They're afraid of progress. We're sooner or later going to have to learn to live together. That's why God put us here on this planet. And I feel that I don't like it that churches are prejudiced against one another. I don't like it that the kingdom of the cult, Walter Martin wrote the most hateful book against the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Christian Scientists, the Catholics. Now the people that say they're born again, they're the most prejudiced people. They're prejudiced against Christian Scientists, they're prejudiced against Mormons, and there's a lot of kind Mormons. When I was in the Navy, some of my best friends that were chaplains were Catholics. I lived right by this Catholic priest. His name was Patrick Kelly. He was a real nice guy.
Let me ask you this. What about hermaphrodites, the race of hermaphrodites?
Where they're from?
Like half man, half woman, but they're born that way.
Well, to each other, they're beautiful. They're God's children. They shouldn't be discriminated against. Just like a bush is different than a tree. It's still a plant. It's still alive. It still needs to be appreciated and admired. There's good in everything and everybody. When people that are prejudiced, they're limiting things. And I know that people that are overcritical are prejudiced. When I was going to 13th Church of Christ Scientists, they said, "You niggers sing too loud." And I said, and I found out the same person that was complaining about the way blacks sing, he was trying to mimic. He had all sorts of black records. said he didn't like the way blacks sing. And he was sitting, and the white people, the main white people that are prejudiced against blacks with black skin, they stand in the sun and put lotion on themselves to get black skin like I have. And it's stupid that they're prejudiced against blacks when they stay in the sun to get dark like me. I mean, it's like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, I know. Maybe that's what it all is.
I mean, and then I didn't like it that I was going to an all-Latino church. Even though I was born and raised in the Christian Science, I visit all churches because I like to have an open mind. I'll visit the Presbyterian, I'll visit the
what do you think of the Partridge Family Temple?
Well, to each his own. I feel churches are all good. All churches are like different grades of school. They're all
But do you
needed.
think that Shirley Jones is like the Mother Earth goddess?
Well, I feel that she was a very spiritual, good person on the Partridge Family, and she had a good mother touch. The Bible says God is our father, mother.
All right.
Like as a mother, God comforts his children.
And you realize there's no father on that show, so she sort of was a father, mother.
Well, she's God is our father. The Bible says, "My parents forsake me, the Lord will take me up."
What about Keith? Do you think he's like the male sex god?
Well, so what? As long as the girls like him, he's cool.
What about Danny Partridge? He's like the trickster. What do you think of that?
He's cute.
But do you think he's like a trickster Loki figure?
Oh well, it's okay. And I it hurt me. I was visiting a Jewish synagogue. I like Jewish people, and I was visiting a Jewish synagogue, and they says blacks aren't allowed. And I said I wanted to learn from the Jewish synagogue. They marched me out of the Jewish synagogue on Beverly Boulevard and told me to go to a Baptist church. Wow. And I said, now you Jewish people are the first to complain about other people being prejudiced against you, and you won't even let me learn about God in your synagogue. That's ridiculous. Even I see there's a lot of Jewish people that are prejudiced that won't even hire blacks. I embrace them and like them, but it hurts me that I've even faced racism from Jewish people.
Wow, man. All right. Well, I guess I got to wrap up this show, but it's been very informative. Do you have a final ditty, maybe a song?
Well, okay. I did a song. The words are by Violet. Love One Another. The words are by Miss Morrison, and the music is by me. Love one another. Word of revelation. Love frees from every throne. Love is liberation. Love the way the Master trod. He that loves shall walk with God. Love is our loyal, royal way. Love knows no evil, neither shouts of sadness. Love casts down every fear, lifts the heart to gladness. Love heals our every ill, all the losses love fulfill. Love is our loyal, royal way. Our love now starting over every nation, showing true brotherhood, publishing salvation. Love bids all discord cease, conquering hate and throwing peace. Love alone is power, 'cause love alone is power.